Hey there, good morning. This is your host, Jeff Ski Kinsey, and it is another great day. And it's morning somewhere, right? Doesn't happen to be morning where I'm at the moment, but the cool thing about the internet is you can listen to these podcasts no matter what time zone you're in, no matter what time of day or night. Hey, I'm your host, Jeff Ski Kinsey, for something called Affordable Quarters. That's also the website, affordablequarters.com. So what is it we're excited about? Creating affordable housing. I mean, this has been like a thing. It's been on my radar screen. I actually did the math the other day. It's actually been over 20 years ago. In 1997, I moved to a particular locale, moved my family, took a cut in pay, and found out the cost of living was more than double what it was in Ohio. So, guess what? Affordable housing has been on my radar ever since. And now I know I'm actually in a spot where I can address that issue. So how cool is that? So let's say you're a do-it-yourselfer and you're saying, well, what do I do next? Okay, I really want some affordable housing. Get me some of that, right? Well, what we do is we help you convert a shipping container, an ISO shipping container, those big steel boxes you see. Normally you'd see them, at least in Ohio, in different cornfields around the countryside, but they're becoming more scarce with this supply chain debacle that we have going on. And in fact, the price has actually risen on them more than 4 times in the last year. Ouch. But they're still less expensive to build a home from than more traditional stick construction. Now, how is that possible? Well, you don't have to frame it. You don't have to spend the time framing it, putting the sides on it, putting a roof on it, a floor. Although 9 times out of 10, you're going to want to put some different kind of flooring down on top of what's already there, the plywood that comes in the bottom by default. But here's the bottom line. If you've seen these, you've seen them on YouTube, you've seen them on Airbnb, you can rent some really amazing shipping container homes built from shipping containers as Airbnb. There's one in particular down in Hocking Hills that they actually get over $400 a night. And this thing is over the top. I think they use 2 containers, maybe 1.5. I don't remember off the top of my head, but this thing is just gorgeous. Hot tub out in the middle of the woods, fire ring, as I recall, just this gorgeous place. And so you get excited about that and you say, hey, I'd love to have one of those. I'd love to build an Airbnb on the backyard here. We got some acreage out down around the corner. It'll be out of sight, out of mind, except for the income money that would get deposited right into your account. Now, how cool would that be? Well, we think you need a Sherpa or a guide, somebody to hold your hand through this. Because if you listen to very many of these people, these people that built these shipping homes, containers, homes out of shipping containers, they almost all say the same thing. Hey, here's what we learned on our first build. Here's what went wrong, and now we know better. Well, guess what? We can hold your hand so that your first build is your best build. Think about that. What's that worth to save that kind of money and aggravation? Okay, I would suggest it's worth a lot of money. I mean, compared to having to tear the thing out and start over because you used the wrong kind of insulation, as just one example of many. So, hey, I could go on and on. Not going to do it. I try to keep these to around 5 minutes. So the bottom line is, if you want, let's say you've got some talent and ability, or your friends or your family does, and you want to build one of these, we suggest you buy our DIY care package. It's $1,000, and it's kind of like an insurance policy, if you will, in the sense that we're going to help make sure you don't make any mistakes. Now, you can ignore our advice, and we will document when you do that. So when you come back and say, well, this went horribly wrong, we can pull out the email or the transcription of the phone call and say, right here's where we told you, do not do that, and you did it anyhow. But hopefully, you're going to be smart enough to say, hey, these guys have done this before. They know what they're doing. They know how to fabricate with metal. Hey, I could go on and on. Reach out, affordablequarters.com.